Good morning, my friends. Welcome to Flow with Jess. It's Wednesday. I took Sadie to the dog walkers, and I'm sitting in almost the exact spot I was, when I first started this channel. I realized finding myself still uncomfortable with recording videos out in public and having people walk by. It was my probably third or fourth video in September 2024, and I had left the house and I just was driving around this beautiful neighborhood that means a lot to me, and I was just all in the feels about so many things. And then here I am almost a year later, 10 months later. We've been doing this for 10 months, and gosh, I was just thinking before pressing record, what am I going to talk about today? And I just felt this overwhelming wave of emotion, and so many things. I feel like I am coming out of my time of reflection. It's been about a week since I've recorded, so I'm sure if you've been here, you can take a guess of where I was. Where I am in my cycle. And I get super reflective and super quiet, so I'm back. I feel like I have a little bit of energy now, but this is the time where I spend so much time inside, and here I am trying to express everything that I've sort of learned, and I haven't spent any time actually talking about it. I've just been in my own head, so trying to translate life into language feels like that's my part of my purpose. And I don't know why I don't know why that feels so emotional. I think a lot of people feel like this, where, if you've ever felt like you haven't been heard in your life, or, you've been called a shy, or, you're not very talkative, or you're introverted, or all of the things, all of these labels that tend to get placed on you when you're like a kid, and then they stick with you into adulthood, and you've just internalized these words about yourself. And I was always the quiet kid. I was always really shy, and I have so many memories of being, in my room as a kid with the door closed and just listening and not breathing. Does that make sense? Probably not, but I lived in a household where there was a fair amount of fighting, and I had an alcoholic in the house, and it was really scary. And there would be a really big fight, and I would be in my bed curled up in the corner. But then when things would settle, what I would do is crawl out of my bed on the ground, and I would go to the door, and I would look under it, and I would put my ear up to it, and I would listen. Or if they were downstairs, I would go to the vent and put my ear there and listen. And I was trying to assess what was happening, trying to assess is it safe? Is it safe to come out? And I notice that that's something that I still do when I get nervous or scared, is that I stop breathing. And I get really quiet. I don't do very well with confrontation. I like, everything like clams up. And so here I am, you know, now in my adulthood, trying to reclaim my voice. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. I didn't expect to be so, wow. I should have expected this. I feel like this is like so on brand for me. On, you know, I go through phases where I'm like super quiet, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I have so much to say. This is my life. I've been singing a lot more. There was this girl at work, and she said to me, she's like, Jessica, I heard that you're a really good singer. And I was like, what? And then I remembered that, you know, sometimes I, you know, whistle when I work, and sometimes there's really good acoustics in the elevator, and like we have these really big hallways, and it's like this old factory that's been converted, so you know, tall ceilings and like really good reverb. So yeah, I sing because like it sounds really nice in there. And she's like, yeah, I heard that you sing. Like, will you sing for me? And I literally, the day before or 2 days before, I had like created an intention, or I had like put out into the universe. I was like, I like tried to work some magic, and I was like, I said, I don't even remember what I said, but I said something about wanting to sing more. And then all of a sudden 2 days later, this girl was like, I want to hear you sing. And I like got so embarrassed. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I can do it. And it was just her and I. And it took me like a very long time to finally agree to it. But I did. And I sang in front of her, and she was just like, oh my God. She was just so gracious and kind. And that felt really nice. I get really embarrassed about myself. I don't know if anyone else does, but you know, when you put yourself out there and you do something, but then it didn't quite go the way that you had like envisioned in your mind, or like you made a mistake or you forgot something, and it's so easy to get down on yourself. And like this whole week that happened so many times where I tried to use my voice for what I thought was good, and it felt kind of embarrassing, or it felt kind of off, but it was probably just, you know, me being hard on myself. And that's like a hard pill to swallow, you know, when you are trying to like do something and do good and put yourself out there, and then like you're just like not confident in the product, or the you're just not confident in what happens. But it's like you have to keep going, and it's just like this learning opportunity, and you have to remember, like, you know, all of the beautiful quotes and the sayings of people that have, like, you know, failed a million times before they succeed. Oh my gosh. Is there a tag for like crying on the internet? Is that like a viral tag? Girl crying? Maybe I'll try it. I'll tag that, and I'll see if I get any views from it. Oh, I keep noticing this like beautiful sunshine behind me, and like here I am being like little bit of a, I'm not being a rain cloud. I'm like, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Life's good to me. Life's good to me. Life's good to me. It's just like really hard feeling so much and like beautiful. It's just like beautiful. It's just like part of my, it's just part of how I express in this world. It's just like super, it can be super emotionally charged sometimes, and it's not always like this, but oh my gosh, I just like feel like I can't do this. Co-star today, you know, I'm so excited because this video is like I should brought my journal with me today. I have not been journaling. I've been writing down my dreams. And I know I need to. My biggest struggle. So over the past like 5 years, probably longer than that, I've known I have been trying to write. I have been trying to express for so long, and this is something that I know is like a part of my purpose, and I know that it's a part of what I'm meant to do, because I've been doing it for so long. Like, you know, you hear about people that are just like naturally gifted, and they're like, oh, I just picked up a guitar, and like after a year and a half I have like 3.5 studio albums and I'm touring across Europe. Like, sometimes things happen super quick, but then sometimes and I'm reminded of my Capricorn North Node, and you know, I'm also reminded that some people don't believe in astrology, but like I do. So I think that because I have belief in it, and like, you know, I've been continuing to try to understand it to the best of my ability, I can like piece certain things together. And I came up with this like analogy the other day while I was out for a walk, and it's not necessarily astrology related, but I was like, I feel like finding your purpose is like, you know, imagining that you have 3 jigsaw puzzles in front of you, gigantic jigsaw puzzles in front of you, and all of the pieces for all three jigsaw puzzles are in this gigantic pile. And throughout your life, you are just trying to match these pieces together. And you're like, is this jigsaw A, B, or C? Because all the colors are like kind of similar. And like, some of the pieces could probably go together in the other one, so they could probably make a pretty good picture. Sort of. You know what I mean? So you're sitting there over the years, and you're just like trying to put these pieces together one at a time. But then you also realize that it's 1 a.m. and you have to go to bed and you have to sleep. And then the next day you have an appointment and you have to take your kid to a dentist appointment, and like life just happens. So you can't just like sit there and do this jigsaw puzzle all of the time. These 3 jigsaw puzzles all of the time. So here you are at this table, going there when you can. You're making the time to like put the pieces of your purpose, of your life together, but like other things are always happening, and there's so many of them, so many pieces to these puzzles. So you're sitting there like, oh my God, am I ever gonna get these 2 pieces together? And then all of a sudden, through apparent magic, some pieces come together. And you're like, oh, okay. I'm starting to see that there's a little bit of clarity, but there's a lot of holes here. And that's like how I feel about this life, where I get so excited sometimes because I get a piece together and I'm like, oh my gosh, in this moment, this piece makes so much sense. And like, maybe it's part of this bigger vision that I'm trying to create for myself. But I still feel like I'm just like staring at these holes in my life, and I don't know what to do about it. So here I am, here I am trying to use my time as wisely as possible, knowing over these past many years, and arguably my entire life, I have been working towards using my voice and putting pen to paper and trying to translate what is coming in and what is happening so that it makes sense to the rest of the world and creates love and understanding and something of meaning and value. And I've been trying to do this for so long. I used to go to coffee shops, and I'd be like, I'm gonna be a writer. I'm gonna write a book. And it just has never turned into anything. I have so many journals now, and I'm so proud of myself because in the past past couple years, I had a really dedicated journaling practice, but then, it was like, what am I gonna do with this? Here are these journals that are just sitting here. And, one could argue that they're practice for putting my words out there verbally. Maybe they'll be material used on the road. Maybe they're just meant for me. Maybe they're meant for my kids. Maybe they're I have no idea. Maybe they were just meant because I had to create something. But there's always been something in me. Always. I have always thought, man, these words need to be seen by someone. I need to be seen by someone. And there's always the worry, of course, that, this is part of the deconditioning the ego to think that in order to live a fulfilled and happy life that, you need to be validated by others. And, I don't want that to be why I do things. I want it to be from this pure place of creation of I believe that I have something to say and I want to be able to just express that, and whoever happens to come across that, they were meant to. But I want it to help people, jumping back to doing things and them not turning out the way that you thought they would. I recently became a supervisor at my job, and I'm the only part-time. I'm a server 2 to 3 out of 4 days, and then I supervise 1 to 2 days a week. And we did these staff meetings, and I had to be on the leadership side of things, and I realized I was like, what I would love to do, because I thought that tensions were gonna run a little high. I was like, I'm gonna run everyone through a little standing yoga thing, because it helps bring conscious breath awareness, and it helps us calm down and just ground and do all the things. And it just didn't work out the way that I thought. The music was super loud, I forgot a part, it just didn't quite work out the way that I wanted. And I was I sat down and I just felt a little icky, and I was like, oh dang, this just didn't work out. But then later someone came up to me and they were like, oh my god, I thought that you were doing that just for me. And it she was going through some stuff, and I had said, put your hand to your heart, whisper something sweet to yourself, put your hand to your belly, whisper something brave to yourself. it's like, man, you gotta get out of your own way, you know? There's always ways to help people. And like just being you, and just like shining your light in the way that you can help people. It's so hard because it's just so easy to be hard on yourself for not being perfect and forgetting to fold and forgetting that the music is going to change the entire environment. But like, I helped one person at least. I'm like, that's why I keep going. This channel, I woke up today and it's at 990 subscribers. I remember being like, I want 10,000 subscribers in 3 months. That did not happen. I'm not poised for that type of growth. Again, Capricorn North Node, so it's very slow and deliberate. And like mountains take a long time to climb. Like you have to practice. You have to, you know, take everything one step at a time. Like it's not like Sagittarius energy where you shoot an arrow and you hit a bullseye. Okay, I have to brag, and then I'm gonna come back to that. Our leadership team went out to axe throwing, and I knew I was gonna be good at it. I had done it before, and I knew I was gonna be good at it, and I was really excited. I had done it like years ago, but I did really well, and I got to go with my leadership team, and we did like this practice round, and I, you know, did very well. And then I was like, listen guys, full disclosure, like I did a league once. And they were like, oh, you tell us this now? I'm like, yes, good luck. And so I won. I won. And it was really great. But then they have this thing called the big axe. And so we like did this like round robin, and then there was like A bracket and B bracket, and I was top of the A bracket, and then I had to play the person who won the B bracket. And so I had just won our little tournament, and then he was like, do you guys want to just like throw the big axe? And I was like, yes. And he's like, who wants to go first? I was like, me. So I get this big axe and I get a bullseye right away. And I was like, mic drop, I'm done. He's like, no, you get 2 more. I'm like, dude, like I just nailed that. Like, fine. But then I got 3 points, and then I got 1 point. So I got, you know, 9 points. So I won that too, but it was so fun, and I'm so excited because I won a really big grand prize, and I'm just like super stoked about that. But yeah, so circling back, my life purpose is going to take a very long time. It's going to take my entire life. Like, working towards your North Node is literally a lifetime journey. Like, you're here for that purpose, and I'm just so impatient most of the time, and I'm just very impatient most of the time because I just want like instant, I just want to know, you know, I want to know I'm on the path, I want to know I'm on the right thing, and like, of course I am, of course we all are. But like, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. So anyone that's here watching, if you're still here 25 minutes in, oh my gosh, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy. I just literally spewed out so many emotions to you. So like, if you're, I'm like, you know, it means a lot, and like, shake it out a little bit. Like, I don't want to put any, I don't want you to like, I don't want you to carry anything that's not yours. And that's obviously the biggest concern of putting yourself out there, especially in an emotional state, is like, people are going to absorb that, and I just don't want anyone to carry anything that's not theirs. And also, like, I hope that it still feels positive, even though it was very emotional, because like, I'm like real grateful about my life. And you know, we're almost reaching 1,000 people on this channel. Like 9 months ago, 10 months ago, I remember in some videos being like, as of today, I have 0 subscribers. So I was the only one. I was the only one watching, and I was the only one, you know, only one on film, only one watching. And it's so cool that it's grown. It's been slower than I expected, but I also have not been consistent. I have not had very good lighting. I have not had any editing. You know, I'm not doing any of the, you know, YouTube algorithm tips and tricks to grow my channel. I'm just hoping that organically, then that's the thing. It's like, that feels very me. Just organically, people finding this due to magic. So, cheers to you. Cheers to us. Cheers to 1,000 people, almost. Cheers to life. Thank you for allowing me to speak, really. It's a big blessing to be able to use my voice in this way. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.